Hi, young listeners. This is a special episode on a book that is for anyone who has lost someone special and all the small ways you keep their memory alive. This picture book is called Flannel Fred. It is written by Marcy Marine Back and illustrated by Deb Johnson. Let's focus all our thoughts and listen. There once was a boy who was different. Some said a boy who'd be nicknamed Flannel Fred. Wherever he was, even in bed, he always had with him a flannel of red. His classmates would stare, whisper and say, "Why does he bring that old thing every day?" They'd watch as he'd wear it on very cold days, as a blanket at nap time, and so many ways. On his head as a hat, as a cape it would fly, as he ran on the playground up to the sky.
Wow.
They watched it get faded, tattered and torn, and year after year it became very much worn. Finally, one day, Jack had the task of asking the question no one would ask. "Why, Flannel Fred," he said with a grin, "would you wear that old flannel again and again?" Fred had never been asked and froze in dismay. He searched for the words he never would say. "There are so many ways to use my flannel of red. As a pillow, if needed, when I go off to bed." Then Fred stopped the excuses and lowered his head. He decided to tell Jack the truth instead. This truth was important. So he gently did say, "It belonged to my father who's now passed away. It's all I have left, and it gives me a way to keep him so close for his memory to stay." With silence between them, Jack learned that day the pain inside Fred that was hidden away. He didn't ask why or how or when, but inside Jack's head a plan did begin. When home for the weekend, instead of go play, he talked with his dad about the conversation that day. Soon, phone calls were made and plans were laid down. The idea of Jack's had spread across town. When Monday arrived, Fred picked up his pack and tied up his flannel so it hung in the back. When he hopped off the bus, he did nothing but stare. Red flannel shirts were worn everywhere. Jack walked up beside him, his flannel in hand, and explained to Fred something quite grand. Every teacher and student, the principal too, wanted to show they care so much about you. So many of them, Jack did explain, miss someone too and have felt the same pain. From that day on, I've heard that it's said Fred proudly still wore his flannel of red to remember someone in the simplest way, to keep them so close for their memory to stay. It was easier now. He was not on his own. Because of Jack's plan, he was no longer alone. So be kind to others. Whatever you do, no matter if others are different from you. The end.